Is Starfield New Game Plus worth it? By a Bethesda fanboy.
Welcome back to Fudge Muppet. My name is Scott, and man, I've been playing so much Starfield.
Okay.
I've been living and breathing this game. I've done multiple playthroughs, experimenting with all different kinds of characters, seeing all the kinds of role-playing experiences this game offers, and in fact, the first of our builds, the Gunslinger, is out now with more to come. However, I've had one main...
The Gunslinger uses guns and perks that increase guns. I love when people give, like, guides for this crap. Yo, you just need to read what the talent points do and then just pick the appropriate talent points if you're gonna use a gun of a type.
Character which I have so far sunk 120 hours into, in which I entered the New Game Plus feature and finally hit level 100. And in order to potentially save you guys a whole lot of time and help you get the most out of Starfield, I'm going to ask the question: was it all worth it?
His answer is going to be yes.
Starfield's an amazing game in our opinion, and it's just a perfect fit for those of us that love role-playing in huge game worlds, and we tend to think that it's at its best when taking your time, pursuing faction questlines, side quests, missions, and exploring, bounty hunting, pirating, or stealing, depending on what type of character you're playing. We also really enjoyed the main story, but we have seen the advice float around that you should rush the main story to get...
Now, enjoying the main story, though, kind of raises a few eyebrows. Did you really enjoy the main story that was, like, pretty much like, whoa, here's spooky things, we don't understand this, it's mysticky, what will it do? And then you get a pretty shitty answer. I mean, you can enjoy that if you're, like, 12 or something, and there's no problem with that.
To New Game Plus, because then supposedly this is where the game really begins. This is wrong. New Game Plus is a really cool feature, but please don't feel pressure.
Bruh, even Fudge Muppet is not buying the BS about that. Well, you need to get to New Game Plus, and then you need to spend 20 hours in New Game Plus, build 3 bases, and then you will start to enjoy the game, because then it becomes good. Man, even he's not buying that.
To rush the main. Imagine that advice for any other Bethesda game. Ignore everything but the main. Seems crazy to me. Bethesda games are at their best when you explore and go and do things at your own pace, in your own way, carve your own journey. New Game Plus has some really cool features, but the juice just isn't worth the squeeze in my opinion. That's all I can say for the spoiler-free section of the video. Warning! From this point onwards, I will have to discuss main story spoilers only. I won't mention what I don't have to, like with the factions and such, but in order to properly discuss New Game Plus, I do need to talk about the content and outcomes of the main story. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, do not keep going with this video. Come back later after you have finished the main story.
Don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. It's like, who honestly cares, right?
And experienced it for yourself. Also, please do not put any comments about this content on any of our other videos. And also, if you don't want to be spoiled, be careful of the comment section of this video. Okay, I'm about to do it. I'm about to talk about it. This is your last chance. Spoilers incoming.
Bruh, it's not that deep, okay? Relax. The story really isn't that deep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you've been warned. Let's begin. Throughout the course of the main story in Starfield, you will encounter the Starborn, trans-dimensional entities that, like you, exist within a multiverse. I will brush over the various character complexities, but the Starborn essentially come to new universes via the Unity and seek to collect the artifacts, seek new powers, and again head to Unity once more, entering new universes and pursuing the grand truths of the universe. At the end of the
essentially, what he described there is a loop that makes no fucking sense. You collect the artifacts to travel a new universe, to collect more artifacts to travel to new universes. And every universe is technically kind of, like, more or less the same. So, yeah.
the main story, you have the ability to become Starborn, and through Unity, enter into a new universe. This
Which
is
is
the new
the
Game
same.
Plus feature. Pretty nifty that it's conceptually entwined with the main story, and from a thematic point of view, I really like this for a sci-fi story, and I think the main benefits of it truly come for those people who don't want to start a new character, but have exhausted all the...
Like, what are the artifacts and why can they do that? Don't worry about it. Here's New Game Plus, though. Are you happy? Are you happy? Like, points in your face, literally. No, I'm not happy. I want answers, not so I can go to new universe and do the exact same thing because it's the exact same universe. Did I really go into the new universe in that case? Question mark. I don't know.
the quest lines and content of Starfield and then want to start again, or perhaps approach the quests differently and make new choices, but with the same character progress. It also offers an opportunity to get those unique weapons leveled appropriately. Most of Starfield's quest rewards seem to be leveled. For example, Deadeye, a unique Razorback, seems equivalent with an advanced Razorback if you get it at high levels. But ultimately, leaving your universe to become Starborn is a big decision. You leave all your companions, gear, outposts, built ships, and pretty much everything behind, except your skills and your powers. This is the big trade-off. So let's provide some context for my situation. I was level 81, had completed all the faction quest lines, obviously the main quest, had explored every system and lots of planets. This character began actually as an exploring-focused character, surveying planets and such, which by the way is a very powerful way to level up if you are spec'd into the skills. Check out our exploration guide for more on that and how to approach it. But I had done all the companion quests, romanced Andrasia, built an awesome ship, I had it all. But then the temptation, the curiosity grew, and so I started a new Game Plus by walking through Unity. When you first go through Unity, you will enter the universe in your very own Starborn Guardian ship, with a new armor set called Starborn Astra, with a set of randomized legendary effects. More on this in a bit.
I mean, why? Who fucking knows?
When you die now, instead of a typical bloody death, you now actually disappear in a starry dissipation like the Starborn you have killed previously. Neat little feature there. But you are directed to the lodge to speak to Sarah, and you have a choice to repeat the main story and pretend that you've never met before, or you can skip the main quest and tell her and the rest of Constellation that you are in fact Starborn, which provides a very shortened, straight-to-the-point version of the main story, collecting a bunch of artifacts and then, like always, dealing with the emissary and the hunter and heading to the buried temple, rebuilding...
Like the fact how she, by the way, doesn't even question this. Ah, yes! Random Dudo appears and says, I am Starborn. Ah, yes. It all makes sense. It's the shittiest thing ever.
The armillary if you so choose. So as New Game Plus is mainly intended, I think, you would just skip the main story, enjoy the new dialogue and perspective as a Starborn, not have one of your companions die through the main quest, and enjoy this new universe. However, there is more. In each new universe, you can actually go to the temples that are laid around the universe and collect the powers again, which actually rank them up, if you already have the first version. So for example, Grav Dash becomes Grav...
That's so great! It's like upgrading your Dragon Shout and making it slightly better. Wow.
Grav 2, or Solar Flare becomes Solar Flare 2, and then 3 on successive universes, so on and so forth. And for someone like me who has done this rodeo more than once, you can...
Bro, look at this. Starfield gameplay at its finest. Just running to a place, knowing full well there's literally nothing you will notice, nothing you will find while going to the place. And when you get to the place, that place is not gonna have anything around it. It's literally gonna be like, okay, here's a straight corridor, now load into this section and then have fun, maybe. It's great.
End up with powers as high as rank 10, but it seems to cap from here. At least the phase time power seems to cap, as that is the power you get at the end of the buried temple, and I've done that over 10 times now. Now, the benefits of the ranks tend to be things like extended duration and lower power cost, so you can be more of a space wizard tier character, and this does feel pretty cool now that I'm level 100 and am on...
Does this look pretty cool? I really don't know. I'm really not feeling it. You know? Uh, I why can't you just, be normal and make the screen like gray or something? I don't I don't even know at this point.
On New Game Plus 10. But was it all worth it? To start
No.
with, before I entered Unity for the first time, I was level 81, had an amazing ship and a full crew, and still more side quests and exploration to do. I had 97 hours at the save point before I built the armillary the first time. The next 24 hours were spent...
I mean, the side quests are literally randomly generated, so you're never gonna run out of them. You understand that, right?
cycling through several universes, gaining new powers, and with each new universe you enter, you actually gain a new, better stats Starborn set of armor with a different look and a new set of legendary effects, as well as a statistically better version of the Starborn Guardian ship, Marks 2,
Wow.
3, 4, 5, and 6. But it stops there. That's
Okay,
as good
cool.
as it gets. The armor you end up with is just like the Hunters, which is pretty cool, but I can show you each armor that you can get, so this can help you decide whether or not it's worth it for you. First is Starborn Astra, followed by Materia, Locus, Tenebris, Solus, Gravitas, Bellum, Tempest, Avitus, and Venator finally. After this point, you will continually get the Venator set. Also, if you save before you step into Unity, you can continually load back until you get the randomized legendary effects you want for your set, which is a handy tip if you do intend to stay in the next universe forever. But there are some other things to note here. Earlier on in the game, these new armors may be far more beneficial compared to what you had available. However, my experience ended up being quite different. My superior bounty hunter armor, along with my helmet and boost pack, provided a higher total armor value, and my spaceship was far superior to the Starborn Guardians, and so for me it almost felt like a downgrade. So if I was to break down
Well, that's a classic Bethesda thing, ain't it?
on the actual trade, it's everything you own and have done, except your skills and powers, traded for very cool sets of armor and a solid ship, plus the most important part of the trade deal: actually having to play through 10 additional universes if you want the ultimate rewards. It takes a whole bunch of time, even if you are being super efficient. Each time I did skip the main quest function and grabbed all the artifacts and rebuilt the armillary as soon as possible, getting whatever temples I found along the way, and
I mean, yeah, I guess the real reason of New Game Plus is that you can already have the character, and then you can do other side quests that you didn't do the previous time. That's kind of it. That's kind of the real point of that.
in some of the universes I went to collect all the powers, but if I'm being 100% honest, playing Starfield this way does become a grind. If you were to do all this first, and then at New Game Plus 10, settle for an actual play
I mean, the fact that no one literally cares that your starship is like fucking future tech is kind of also funny.
through, you would not have experienced the best of the game, and would probably put it down far before then. Consider it took me 24 hours and I was already a high-level character with lots of skills available to me. Collecting the artifacts definitely gets stale. I think the artifacts are supposed to be in different locations each time. At least Vladimir's dialogue implies this, and maybe I had a glitch, but every single time, every new universe, I had the exact same locations to go to, and I am very familiar with them. I understand why some people...
That's a Bethesda feature, my boy. That's not a glitch. That is the way Bethesda intended that. Todd Howard wanted it this way. What do you mean glitch? There's no glitches in Starfield. The game's perfect. Or mods will
play
fix it.
Starfield this way, do all the New Game Plus universe stuff first, then set up your character and do side stuff, but I don't think they realize how much of a grind it really is. On the other hand, in a cool way, you actually start to feel the more cynical, detached type of worldview that grows within you as you cycle through the universes. This is probably how the Hunter feels, and fittingly, he has the armor you get for going...
I think you're looking into this way too deeply, my dude. Definitely too deeply. They did not intend any of that, okay? They did not intend any of that to you, okay?
going through 10 times or more. There were instances in certain universes where I would just do things like kill Vlad this time, tell someone they suck, just anything I wanted because I didn't really care about the consequences and I could just always go to a new universe and just do it all again. I have to say that it felt like a cool story bit in a weird way, like the gameplay actually affected my character's behavior because
Well, yeah, that's the point. You're supposed to do things differently. You know, that's the point of this. You go into the new universe, which is again the same, and then you do things differently. You join a different group. You do this, you do that, blah blah blah. All of that is different.
it made me feel more detached. I'm nowhere near as attached to Andrasia number 6 as I was to my OG Andrasia. None of the characters seem to stick the same way when you know they are transitory as you skip through universes. In the
That's why New Game Plus of this kind is, by the way, kind of stupid. This is why people don't like this type of New Game Plus, by the way.
Final playthrough, after I got the Venator armor from a role-playing perspective and also from my actual perspective, I was tired. I told the emissary and the hunter to suck it, I killed them both, and resigned to rebuild things in this new universe, as different as it feels. Ultimately, I think for 95% of players, New Game Plus just won't be worth it. I know I would not be doing it again, at least not 10 times, especially if you're the kind of player that is far more interested in role-playing. I'd rather just play a new character with new traits and backgrounds and experience the game a different way.
Essentially, this is like a failed attempt at seasons in like Diablo 4 or Path of Exile, kinda. You know? Bethesda wants you to replay this game, so they added, you know, the stupidest lore ever and convoluted reasons for why you are the same and blah blah blah. And it doesn't make sense, you know? Because you're not gonna play a different game style. It's so dumb. Like, they are trying to make you play more of this game, but in reality, they're not achieving that with New Game Plus. They're actually kind of ruining it because you do get this attached to your things. You know, the reality is we can start a new game at any point we want, but New Game Plus kind of like shatters that illusion that you need to start a New Game Plus. It just instills the idea that, well, none of your choices matter anyway because they will be reset and can be reset at any time anyway. So, you know, it's kind of like a questionable thing.
This is where the value of Starfield is. Running through universe cycles doesn't hit the same, and it's why I really recommend that you don't bother with it. If you are going to go ahead and do it, then be my guest and enjoy the cool powers and cool armor. I hope you find it worth it. However, if I have convinced you to not bother, and you're never going to do it, I can indulge you in some spoilers. Click off the video if you are going to go ahead and do New Game Plus and want to be surprised. 1, 2, 3... Okay, spoilers now. Let me tell you 2 of the unique experiences I had in the universes and save you some time. Bethesda has accounted for players that would try and rush and burn through many universes, obviously by offering better armors and such, but also there are 2 unique experiences that I had. One was the most jarring and risky. I think it was my 6th or 7th universe. I could not access my inventory, meaning I had to heal with beds or powers, also no weapons, and I could not save the game, no autosaves either. This encourages you to rush through this universe. Honestly, seems like an oversight. Imagine getting a game crash.
That sounds like a bug, dude. That doesn't sound intentional. That sounds like a fucking Bethesda bug. This is the problem with Bethesda fanboys. They're literally gonna encounter a bug like this and say, "Oh, it's a feature." What are the chances that this is a feature, not a bug, dude?
Sure, man, even just dying and having to load back, losing hours of progress would have been a hassle. Pro tip, the moonform power is your friend here. It makes you invulnerable and regens your health, but you can't move. You can still access your cutter by opening the scanner, but you still are going to want to use quantum essences strategically with the bosses for this one. I'd even typically suggest speed running to the artifacts or stealthing, but obviously there is no save scumming in this universe. Also,
it's a bug. He literally, unironically, with 100% full intent, and conviction describe the bug as a feature.
So in this universe, I went to the lodge and everyone was a dead apparently, only Vasco was there to give me the artifacts Constellation had collected, so I couldn't use companions either. So yeah, I rushed through this one, Moonform to regen when I needed it, but as far as bosses went, I found Phase Time with Quantum Essence activated and spamming Solar Flare seemed to work best. Also, on my 9th new universe, I walked into the lodge as usual and found that there were multiple versions of me here instead of Constellation.
Oh, DK,
and
that's not
apparently
a
it's
bug.
becoming a little universal congregation of me's. And this was a refreshing change, but there wasn't much to say with them, nor can I have them as companions, so I ended up bailing on this universe too. Those were the only 2 truly unique universe states that I...
Oh, maybe they actually added... No, maybe this is not a bug. I don't know. I'm not insane to do these things. But maybe this is not a bug. Maybe the Bethesda actually tried to be like funky wonky and say, oh, this is a universe with all of you being... everyone being you. And it's like, okay, how does that make sense? Why is this universe literally all positions me? It makes no sense at all. Like, Bethesda, please. I got told by your fanboys that realism is, like, important here or something. Is it really?
I had, and I hadn't seen others online yet, just those 2. But look, it is really great that Bethesda added this function for those who want it, plus it actually has really compelling story reasons for its existence. But is actually playing through it fun? Is it worth it? I'd say no ultimately. There are cool moments like seeing different versions of you, or getting a new 6 set of Starborn armor, or even abusing the hell out of the Phase Time power at its maximum level, but ultimately I did this for you guys so that I could give you an informed opinion about whether or not this pursuit of all this power is worth all the sacrifice to get. It turns out that the real red pill is to take the blue pill and go back to your universe, uniquely yours, with all its faults, with all your regrets and all your experiences. In my opinion, that's where you belong. 9 out of 10 players will have a much better experience just forgetting about New Game Plus, or if you really want to, then doing it once after you've exhausted everything in the first universe. But honestly, I would just not recommend doing it. I'd rather start a new character with a new background and traits, a different build, a different angle. That is where the joy of the game is there for me. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Please do be respectful.
Well, that was something. The cope is great. Too bad no one's talking about how mods are fixing everything. But what are mods fixing? Well, that was Fudge Muppet. He doesn't have an outro screen for some reason. Huh, was that a bug? Yeah, seems like he forgot to add one. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sensei. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.